Great. Okay. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this call. I'm Alex Goad, and today we've got a great call for you with my good friend and longtime business partner, John Jonas. And before I pass the mic to John, who's going to be showing you some pretty amazing stuff, I just want to tell you that this call contains a lot of new content and also contains some content from a call that I was on approximately a year ago, and which was just instrumental to my business. And when I saw this for the first time, I was absolutely blown away by the content that you're about to see, because it shatters so many myths about how to do outsourcing right. And I had been doing it so wrong, and I had paid for it in so many different ways with my money, with my time, with ineffective projects that didn't deliver and were just a complete waste. And then I found out how to do it right. And in the space of just a couple of months, it transformed my business. It allowed me to do way more in almost all aspects of my business, be it SEO, link building, time management, content creation, just virtual assistant, and all of these things that seem like a good idea before you do them for the first time, and then you realize how wrong you can do it, and then you realize that when you do get it right, that's really when it creates so much time freedom, income freedom, and just unties your hands from behind your back. And this literally created probably dozens of new hours in my week where I could focus on something else, including just enjoying myself if I wanted to. And this is the call that did it all for me. I took this, ran with it, and the difference was just magnificent. And so I hope that you'll be able to get as much out of it as I did, and in fact, I'm sure that you'll be able to get out of it as much as I did if you just pay very close attention to everything that John is about to tell and show you. Now, just a couple of things about John. He's been doing this for a really long time, and he's going to show you how, he's working about a 17-hour work week while running a massive online business, and that it's increments of $2.50 an hour workers that have allowed him to put together something that has almost, totally made the internet income and time freedom dream come true for him. And I believe that at some point along the lines, that's what's going to make it come true for you too. So without further ado, John Jonas, everybody.
Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, so just so you guys know, this is going to be about 90 minutes. I have about 90 minutes of stuff, or actually, I got about 2 hours worth of stuff, and I'm going to cram into 90 minutes just so I make sure you guys know everything. My goal with this is that by the end, you guys know everything about how to do this. And you can see that this is about living the 17-hour work week through life or through outsourcing. This is about how you live your life by doing things the right way. So, really quickly before I get started, I have two reasons why I give this presentation still. The first reason is because I like to help people succeed. And I've seen this so many times where you're not doing things right, it's hard, you're not succeeding, and all of a sudden you start outsourcing things the right way where you're not the only one working anymore, and all of a sudden you start succeeding. So that's the first reason why I like to do this. The second reason is I have this goal of helping 1 million people get a job in the Philippines. 1 million Filipinos get a job online working for us. And that's the reason why I continue to teach this, because we're well on our way to helping 1 million people get jobs so that they can support their families where otherwise they couldn't do it. So just a little bit about me before I get started. And I want you guys to know this. When I got started doing this, before I was outsourcing the right way, before I kind of really started succeeding online, I didn't have very much. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't this great businessman, And that's why I show you this picture. So you can see you don't have to know everything in order to start doing this correctly and start succeeding with it. Since then, things have definitely changed for me. This is me and my family on the beach in Costa Rica where we spent a month because we could. Here's a couple other places that we've been. New York, London, the Philippines, Thailand, on the beach in California with my beautiful daughter. We spent a month in the Philippines. We spent a month in Florida, again, on vacation because we could. And so I show you these things not so you think, wow, that's really cool, you know, he can travel. I want you to know this is real. That, you know, when I say the 17-hour work week, this isn't, you know, me just taking a thing off of the 4-hour work week and pretending that I do this. This is what I do. I actually live this life, and I think it's important that you know that who you're listening to, who's teaching you this, practices what he preaches. And so I want you to know that's me. One more thing about this. This is me and on the golf course with my son. This is the course that we play every day. And I don't play it every day. I don't play Saturdays because I don't like the crowds, and I don't play Sundays for religious reasons. But otherwise, this is what I choose to do with my time. I spend it with my family. I spend it traveling, and I spend it playing golf. So, okay. So now that you know a little bit about me, let's talk about a couple things. You know, my guess is that, and I know I get this all the time. You look at this page and it's scary. And, you know, HTML and PHP and gigabytes and web servers and Ajax and CSS and DNS. Tell me if these things are confusing to you. And I know they are because they're confusing to me. And I graduated from college in computer science, and these things are still confusing to me. So what I want to show you guys today is how you can accomplish all of these things without knowing how to do them yourself. By being able to hire other people for it's so affordable, where they understand these things, and the things that they don't understand, you can teach them. So much of this is about education. Where you don't have to know how these things work, but you can still get them done in your business. And what I'd like to reduce this to for you guys today is just communication, where all you need to be doing is communicating what you want and how you want it. And so, you know, I see a question that just came in that says, I already know all these things. And the next statement is, I just don't have time to do them. So yeah, if you know these things or if you don't, regardless, you're right, there's not time to do all these things. So I want to show you how you can get all this stuff done. So, really quickly, let me show you this, and I tell me if you can't hear this, Alex. I want you to let me know.
Hey, John and the Replace Myself team. Lisa Schwartz here with Online Media Magic. Just got through with a SEO customer of mine. I do some SEO consulting work with them. And I had my video camera with me, and I remember that you were asking how the outsourcing was going with my guys in the Philippines. And I wanted to share a little bit about that. What I do is I bring my video camera here. One of the SEO elements that I use is video to get backlinks to the site, to bring some high authority page rank to websites. And for my customer today, I took a little bit of raw footage. I like the reality style videos. And then I send that raw footage to my VAs in the Philippines. They take that footage, they insert some images from the customer's website, including some stock photos and other information, and then they distribute that video, which is finished, to all the video distribution sites, getting some really nice backlinks to the site. And of course we do a few other things for them as well. So I just wanted to let you know that things were going great. This is one way that the outsourcers help us, among many ways for our SEO consulting business here at Online Media Magic. And our customer today just signed up for a 90-day search engine optimization plan, so I collected a $5,000 check. So.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this because I know that some of you guys it's kind of low volume. I show you this so that you know that normal people are doing this. This is not real difficult. And I have this one because if I got this video one day. If Matt can do this, you guys can do this. I got this video. He couldn't even put on a normal shirt. And yet in this, and I'm not going to play this because it's like 2.5 minutes long, but he says, he hired, in fact, I'm going to play a minute of it because I think it's louder than that one. I want you to know that this is not for
This is Matt Lewis in Dallas and John Jonas. I just wanted to thank you for the great information you put out on the calls on how to replace yourself. It wasn't until I was exposed to your knowledge of outsourcing, and especially finding people in the Philippines. I'd never even heard of that before. I've actually even been to the Philippines before, and I never actually even thought that was possible. But since getting the information from you, I've hired a Filipino probably almost a year ago or so. It's been a little while. He's worked out great, and he does so much for me that I used to have to do myself, and consequently a lot of it didn't get done in a timely manner because I didn't want to do it. Things like article marketing, submitting manual submissions to article directories, he does that. Bookmarking, he does that too. If I need a blog to be built, he will install the WordPress blog, he'll configure it, he'll customize the template, he'll do whatever basically I tell him to do. It's just been a really, really positive experience. I really want to thank you for exposing me to that possibility to actually outsource myself and free up my time, which is the best feature. Especially taking into consideration the time savings I've realized just over the last year. I know my income has gone up at least $10,000 just in the last year, just from the efforts of him being consistent and me not having to do it. But the actual dollar value.
Okay, I'm going to move on with this. Okay, so I show you these two videos so that you know this is not that hard. First of all, you guys can do this. If Matt can do this, you guys can do this. And Matt's a smart guy. I've talked to him. He's a smart guy. And now I want to show you this works. I want to show you a little bit of how this works. So typically when I've talked about this, I've seen that there are 3 problems that people have. The second problem is knowing where and how and specifics of hiring someone, and we're going to get into that today. I'll cover that completely. The third problem is knowing how to keep them busy, how to train them, what to have them do for you, and we'll cover that today. The number one problem that I find that people have is knowing what's possible with outsourcing, and so I showed you I showed you Matt's video there so that you know a little bit of what's possible. And I want to tell you a little bit more of what's possible with this, because if you don't know what's possible, you can't do this right. So bear with me for a second while I tell you a quick story. Just over 3 years ago, my wife was 7 months pregnant with this little girl here, our third child. And she had, we had gone into the doctor's office, and he had run some tests, and he comes in and tells her, "You have preeclampsia. And if you don't stay in bed on strict bed rest for the next 3 to 5 weeks, you're going to go into seizures and you're going to lose this baby." And, I mean, I was working full-time in my business at the time, and all I knew was I'm not about to lose a baby over money. I can't work. My wife's going to stay on strict bed rest because I got to take care of these other 2 kids. So on my way home, I'm thinking of how I'm going to deal with this. And when I got home, I sent an email to 2 of my guys in the Philippines and said, "Hey guys, look, I can't work. Here's my situation. Here's why. Here's what's going on. I need you to do everything that I'm currently doing in my business. All the customer support and the software and the bugs and the features and updates and the marketing and SEO and the link building and articles that I was writing and my blog and comments and forums and my AdWords account and all these things that I was currently doing. I told them, look, I need you guys to do this now. I can't do it anymore." So for the next 3 weeks, while my wife's on strict bed rest, I literally worked 1 hour. And I never thought that her going on bed rest and being told she's going to die if she doesn't, and we're going to lose a baby, I never thought that would be such a huge blessing to me in my life. 3 weeks later, my wife had the baby, this beautiful little girl. And for the next 2 months, I literally worked 1 hour a week because I had replaced myself in my business. And I learned all kinds of things during this time, and I had no idea this was possible. And this is why it was such a blessing to me, because all of a sudden I was forced to learn this stuff that I hadn't learned. So first of all, I learned just how good these people were in the Philippines, because before this, I had them working for me for a while, but I was way underutilizing them. I had no idea. Second, I learned the kinds of things that they could do. Third, I learned this is really possible to live the lifestyle that's, that is taught and talked about in this internet business world, where you can actually get stuff done while you're not the one doing it and make money while you're doing it. So, lest you guys think that okay, we made about $800,000 in those 3 months when I wasn't working. And I'm not one to feed you guys any BS. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. We did not make that money because I wasn't there. We didn't make the money because these guys were running my business for me. I had set it up so it was going to run pretty dang well. But the point is, my business didn't fall apart when I wasn't there because I had other people doing the work for me. So I also don't want you to think that these were like Harvard MBAs doing all this work for me. These guys were making about $250 per month for full-time work. And that $250 per month for full-time, when I say full-time work, I mean 40 hours a week of work. It's a business expense, so it's totally tax deductible, so it's really costing me like $180 after tax savings. And I'm not paying insurance, I'm not paying their taxes, I don't have an office, so I don't pay utilities or internet connection or anything like that. So really, I mean, this is super, super affordable, and these guys are doing all this work for me. So outsourcing is not about Dell. It's not about, sending an entire division of the company overseas and costing so many American jobs. For me, this was about me replacing myself in my business to where someone else was doing the work for me. And that's my goal with this today, is to teach you guys how to hire someone else to do your work for you in your business. Not only the work that you're not doing, but the work that you are doing, so that you can start becoming the CEO of your business and having other people do the work for you so you can live the lifestyle. So here's how you're going to do this. First of all, you're going to hire someone full-time. Not part-time, not a contract worker. You're going to hire someone full-time, and you're going to teach them everything that you know about your business so that they can do those things. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. But over time, the more you teach them, the more they're going to be capable of running your business for you, where you can step away from it. Okay, this is not about Elance and it's not about India. And I'm not going to talk about these a whole lot. I'm going to skip over this mostly. But just so you guys know, when I say it's not about Elance, this is not about hiring a contract worker. You're not hiring someone to do a single project and then they're done with you. And the big problem with that is it's just not automation. Elance has its place. And when I say Elance, I mean any one of these sites where, guru.com or odesk.com or Get a Freelancer or Rent-A-Coder or Scriptlance. There's like 15 of these. It's not automation. You're not changing from working in your business to working on your business. You're still just working in your business using these sites. And again, there's a place for it. This is not it. Okay, second, this is not about India. If you've tried this before, if you've tried the whole outsourcing thing before and it didn't work for you, give it another shot with what I'm about to tell you with the Philippines. You will have a completely different experience. And I know this because I'm not even going to get into it. I've just heard this so many times from people. That they tried this and it didn't work, and give it another shot. Okay, when I say implement everything and be the CEO, I mean you should be implementing everything that you know of. So let me tell you this story. In today's world, the biggest asset you have over the rest of the world is your educated brain, and the knowledge that you have is your biggest advantage. Your biggest advantage isn't knowing how to set up a WordPress site and setting it up. If you're the one out writing articles and submitting them to article directories, you're wasting your brain. You should not be out doing directory submissions or social bookmarking or link building. This is not your job. Your job is to be the CEO of the business. Let me tell you how this works. After, my wife had been put on strict bed rest the 3 weeks before the baby and then the 2 months after the baby, it came time for me to go to work again. There's only so much nothing you can do in a day, and you get bored. You've got to do something. So it came time for me to start working, and I realized that. And so I started designing a business based around what I had learned in this time period about these people I had working for me, how good they were at the things they were doing. So I'm going to tell you the business and tell you what I did with it. So the business was writing reviews about products, where we would write a review, we would put our affiliate link on the review, we'd send traffic to the review. They read our review, they liked the product, they wanted to buy it, they clicked our affiliate link, they bought the product, and then we get paid from it. Pretty simple. So here's what I did. I found a domain, I found a niche and bought a domain, and then I recorded myself talking for 45 minutes about this business. About the goals of the business and why we're doing this and how it's going to work and what are the steps it takes to reach these goals. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and what we're going to do and why these things are going to work for us. And I recorded all of this talking and explaining everything. And here's what I want you to do first and second and third. And then I sent all of this to one of my guys in the Philippines. And here's what he did. He listens to the audio and he takes the domain and sets it up on my hosting account. He sets up WordPress on the domain and starts changing the theme according as I've kind of described. And he sends it back to me, and I looked at it and it wasn't all that great. frankly. um, and I had to go back and give him some more instructions. Like, I like this piece and I like that, but I don't like this, and move this here and let's change this. And I sent it back to him. And he changed it, and it was really close now. And so I just gave him one more little thing of feedback, and he got it right. And all of a sudden, my site was set up, and the point isn't that I wasn't involved. The point isn't that everything got done exactly correct the first time. The point is that I didn't do the work, that I wasn't the one implementing. I'm being the CEO. So we have it all set up, and he starts writing the reviews. And the first review he wrote, again, was pretty close, but it wasn't right. So I had to give him some more feedback and instructions on how to write the reviews, and then he got the review right. So again, it's not that I'm not involved, because I'm involved, but I'm not the one doing the work. I'm being the CEO. So after he starts writing the reviews, then he starts doing the marketing, and he starts doing link building and SEO and social networking and social bookmarking and article marketing and video marketing and Facebook and MySpace and Squidoo and RSS feeds and Craigslist and all these things that you hear about but you don't actually implement yourself. He starts doing these things, and all of a sudden there's like two of me where I'm implementing all of these things in my business, but I'm not the one doing the work. So that business, the first month, made me about $200. Within 3 months, it's making me about $1,000 a month. Within 6 months, it's making $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Within a year, it's making $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And I haven't done anything for it, other than be the CEO and teach someone else how to do it. So again, when I said in the beginning, I want you to know this is doable. It's you can do it. And it's easy. This is about communication. How do you communicate with people? Because if you can communicate and express your ideas correctly, it's pretty easy to get things done. And I'm going to show you a couple ways to make that a little bit easier for you in a second. So up to this point, do you have any questions before I talk about the Philippines? Alex, anything? I don't see any questions coming in.
Oh, no, I'm good. I mean, the reality is that I've now been doing this for several months, so I'm pretty clear on how it works, and I'm so clear on the benefits of it. If there's one thing I just want to mention is that, this is a human tendency, is that we always think that we're going to do more later. So there's all these things that we know we have to do in our business, and we're like, yeah, I'm going to do that later. And this is called future bias. So, and the reason why we think that we're going to do it later is because we think it's going to be magically, somehow think that it's going to be easier to do it later, and that we're going to feel like it more later than we do now. And the sad reality of it is that it never does get easier, and later, the later where things are easy and you actually do them without asking yourself any questions, never comes. And the problem is that if you don't do these things, then you don't get to progress and move forward in your business. And so this is what held me and my business back for so long, is that I had all these things that I had to do, and I was going to do them later, and then I just never got around to doing it. And one of the things that was stopping me from getting into outsourcing in the first place was like, well, that's going to be an extra expense, and it's going to cost me more money to do that. The reality of it is that when you get a business that works well and where everything's being done properly, it makes so much money that paying people to do the work that you wouldn't do otherwise, or that you're doing now, is actually extremely profitable and a very high ROI thing to do. So it's very important to keep an open mind as you're looking at this, and not think, well, it's going to cost me money to do this. It's going to cost you money, yeah, but it's probably right now costing you a ton more money to not do it, and to end up not doing this work, or to end up doing some of this work yourself while you should be doing something else. So I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to clear up that point. And yeah, John, this is it.
Thank you. That's really good, and I completely agree with you on that. Okay, so the Philippines. When I say the Philippines, I mean the Philippines, and I don't mean South America. I don't mean Africa. I don't mean Eastern Europe. I don't mean Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. I mean the Philippines and only the Philippines. And I know some of you guys are thinking, oh, that's great. I got a contact in Vietnam. I'll go to Vietnam and do this. No. Go to the Philippines. There's a specific set of cultural differences that exist there that don't exist anywhere else in the world. And it's not any one of these things, but it's the combination of all of these things together that make the Philippines different for outsourcing than anywhere. So before I show you those cultural differences, let me show you this picture. This is a collage of 6 of the 10 full-time people that I have working for me today. And I show you this for 2 reasons. So first of all, I want you to know the kind of work that you can get done. These people make anywhere between $200 and $700 per month for full-time work. This guy is a very good full-time PHP programmer. That's all he does. He writes code for us. And he's so good at it that I can have him do anything. Programming, server administration, Linux, PHP, MySQL, whatever it is, anything technical, I can have him do for me. I don't have to deal with it. He makes $700 a month. This guy is a very good PHP programmer. He's also a good graphic designer. So I can have graphic design work done that's properly done. And just so you know, that's really hard to find, and I'll talk about him in a second. So these 4 people are all pretty similar. They do things like research, where they'll gather all the data so we know what niches we should be in and what kinds of things we should be working on. They will build websites. They'll buy domains. They'll set them up on my hosting account. They'll build, set up WordPress. They will write the content for the sites. They'll set up ClickBank accounts or autoresponder series. They will do the marketing for them. So they'll do the SEO and the link building and the article marketing and video marketing and social networking and social bookmarking and Squidoo and building a mini net and setting up AdWords campaigns. They do all of these things for me. This guy does all this stuff, but he is now a project manager. Here's my first tip for you guys. Do not go out and try and hire a project manager. In the Philippines, they do not have the educated workforce that we have here in the US. So it's really hard to find someone that has the experience to be able to manage projects, to be able to manage internet projects without you being there for a while. So this guy's worked for me for over 5 years now, and over the last couple of years, I've kind of turned him into a project manager because he knew so much stuff. So that's my first tip. Go out and hire someone to do a single task and work through that with them. Don't go and hire 6 people all at once and hire a project manager and expect it to be productive. I've seen it quite a bit where it's hard to make that productive. Also, I have another girl that's not pictured here who makes phone calls to the US, to customers in the US. And if you got a phone call from her, you would not know that she wasn't in the US. You'd probably know she wasn't born and raised here because there's a slight accent, but that's how good their English is. English is a primary language in the Philippines, where elementary school is taught in English. So you find people that have just fantastic, exceptional English skills that they can do just about anything for you. Okay, so the second reason I show you this picture is because I've grown to love these people. And over the years, as I've seen other people do this, I've gotten the idea that people kind of think they're robots. They're, how do you say this? They're like throwaway, or just get another one, or get rid of them. And I want you to know that these are human beings. I want you to know they're human beings with feelings and families and needs and problems in their lives. And if you will treat them as such, you'll have a much, much better experience with this. I heard of a time where a guy was not treating them well, and I cannot tell you the anger. You'll grow to love these people. They'll become your friends. Treat them well. And the better you treat them from the beginning, the better of an experience you'll have with them, the better work they'll do for you. So, and I know that sounds a little bit weird, but it's just something I've seen enough of. So, okay, this is why this works so well in the Philippines, and you need to understand some of these things so you can do it properly. And this is just stuff that I've experienced over the years. There's no website you can go to that says like, why does outsourcing to the Philippines work so well? This is just what I've seen and experienced. So in the Philippines, there's a culture of honesty where, to the point where my guys have my credit cards, they have access to my bank account, they have username and password to my email account, my personal email, they have username and passwords to all of my hosting accounts, they have root access to my servers, they have usernames and passwords to my PayPal accounts. The only thing they don't do is they don't pay themselves, because if they paid themselves, they would know how much each other made. Like I said in the beginning, I've helped a lot of people hire Filipinos. Just so you know, I've never once heard of a problem with dishonesty where someone's stealing something. That being said, please don't go do something stupid that you're not comfortable with and get yourself ripped off and be the first one to come back to me and say, I got ripped off. Just because I said that they're honest doesn't mean that you should immediately trust anyone. However, it also shouldn't take you as long as it took me to realize what I could trust them with so I could make my life easier. So second, in the Philippines, there is a culture of loyalty, almost to it being like a problem of theirs. It's to the point where you hire someone, they will never quit working for you. They'll never send you an email saying, I'm sorry, sir, I'm quitting. They'll just work for you forever as long as you're willing to employ them, which means you can teach them things that otherwise you wouldn't have taught them if you had a fear of them quitting. Or over time, you can teach them small thing after small thing after small thing, and eventually they know so much about your business that they can start taking it over and running it for you. And you slowly step away. And the Philippines, they're very intelligent. You'll find that the people you're hiring have a bachelor's degree, like a post-high school bachelor's degree. They have computers and internet access, which means they can work from home. You don't have to go to the Philippines. You don't have to go through a service to hire them. They're very hardworking by nature, and they speak American English, not Indian English. American English, which is really important when you're writing content for an internet business or when you're dealing with customers or all those things. It's really important. In the Philippines, they actually like America, which again is different than than most of the rest of the world right now, frankly. And so let me stop here for a second. I got a couple things to add to this. First of all, in the Philippines, they think like we do, which is different than other countries, where in the Philippines, if you give them something to do and you leave out some instructions, they'll read between the lines and they'll go and figure it out. I'll tell you, one time this is just recently, I had a guy that I had a guy that I gave a task to, and I asked him to set up an account for me, and I didn't give him the email address for the person he was setting up the account for. And so he sends me an email and says, sir, I don't know the email address for this person, so I can't set up the account. And this is in the middle of the night while I'm asleep, So when I get up in the morning, I see these two emails from him. And the second email that he sends me says, sir, is this his email address? I went and searched online to try and find it to see if I could find it, and this is what I found. Is this his correct email address? So he has a problem that I haven't given him enough information, so immediately he goes out and tries to solve it for me. And you'll find this is a normal experience. They want to help you out. Here's the other thing. When I say America, so I live in the United States, and so when I talk about America, but I've realized over the years this is less about being an American boss as it is about being a foreigner. So this is amazing. In the Philippines, they look up to foreigners to the point where you hire them as a foreigner and you give them a job and you just elevated their social status so that you become like a bragging point to them among their friends. I've realized, and I've talked to people in the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, Mexico, Brazil, Spain, France, Germany, Switzerland, Thailand, Singapore. You get the point. This will work anywhere. They're not partial to Americans. This is really about being a foreign boss. Also, just so you guys know, I know that they do not have a male-female problem. This will work just as well for a male boss as it will for a female boss. They don't have a problem working for females, which is really important. Okay, so let me sum this all up for you and why this works so well. The Philippines is a third world country. It's a very third world country. It is hard to find a job in the Philippines, and even harder to find a full-time permanent job. There's so much temporary work there. This is why I tell you to hire someone full-time. Here's what happens. You just hired this person full-time, where they're working for a foreign boss, so you just elevated their social status. They're working from home on their own hours, which is everyone's dream. You're paying them more than anybody else they know is making. And I'll tell you two stories. I have two guys that told me these things. One guy told me he loans money to his dad on a regular basis because he makes so much more than his dad does. He makes $450 a month. Another one of my guys told me he's teaching all of his friends how to do what he does because he makes more than double what they make. He makes $450 a month. So you gave this person a full-time job working for a foreign boss. You elevated their social status. They're working from home on their own hours. They're making more than anybody else they know. And all of a sudden what you get is someone who will do anything for you to keep their job. So someone who will do anything to make you happy so that they can keep their job. Combine all of this with the last thing here, which is they're not entrepreneurial. So I know that a lot of you guys are thinking, as I tell you the story about the business that this guy built me that makes me, $10,000 to $15,000 a month, why doesn't he just go do it on his own? Here's why. They are not entrepreneurial in the Philippines. They just want a paycheck. They want a job. Culturally, and this is a really big problem in the Philippines, culturally, they're not entrepreneurs. They want a paycheck that is stable, that they can take home and support their families. Give it to them. Give them a full-time, permanent, long-term, stable job, and they will do amazing things for your business. Okay, so this is what you guys have been waiting for. I know that. Let's talk about how you find people. When I got started at Agents of Value. It's agentsofvalue.com. It's an American company. They have offices in the Philippines. They recruit Filipinos, bring them into the office, and then they lease that person back to you. So the good thing is that it's not like a contractor. It's not like where you are just having anybody in their company do this stuff for you. They're actually giving this person to you so you can train them and they only work for you, and that's really important. I'm not going to say a whole lot about this other than I just know over the last couple of years, Agents of Value has kind of gone downhill. And I know the owner, and I know a couple of guys that work for them, and they're having a hard time recruiting. They're having a hard time keeping people in the office. And I also happen to know that they recruit people at the same places that I recruit people because I know a couple of the recruiters for them. And so, I've already told you can hire people for $250 and they charge you $750. I give you this as an option in case these other two things aren't right for you. I'm just saying that Agents of Value is not the best choice anymore, but it's an option. Currently, the best place to hire someone is at onlinejobs.ph. And like I told you guys before, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I own onlinejobs.ph. And so, of course I say it's the best, but I'll show you in a second why it really is. Before onlinejobs.ph existed, before we started this, Best Jobs was the best place I had ever seen to hire people. So I'm going to show you this. Here's onlinejobs.ph. First thing to notice, everything's in English, and it's onlinejobs.ph. It's a Philippines website. Here's bestjobs.ph. Everything's in English again. So here's how you use it. On the left side, there's job seekers, employers, and resources, the three orange headlines. We're going to do a resume search. Click on resume search. Do not click on job search. People always want to click on job search. Okay, on this page, on the resume search page, we're going to change two fields. We're going to change the resume date and the keywords. We're going to change the resume date to be a month or less. And that's because I found that most of the resumes in Best Jobs are older. And this goes back to the loyalty thing that I told you, where if someone has already found a job and you find the resume and email them, they're so loyal that they won't even respond to your job inquiries. So I found that I was wasting a lot of time trying to hire people that already had jobs and they won't even respond to me. So I found if I change it to be a month or less, I get newer resumes that people are still unemployed. The second thing we're changing is the keywords. I'm going to change it to be English writer. Because in my experience, the single most important qualification in hiring someone to work in an internet business is their English skills. Everything else can be taught. SEO and article marketing and video marketing and WordPress and FTP and HTML. These things can all be learned pretty easily. You can't teach English. So hire them for their English skills. Okay, so as we search this, a couple things. First of all, over 2,300 results for the keywords English writer. And the kinds of things that these people are saying is content writer, blog writer, creative writer, marketing writer, article writer, web content writer. These are the kinds of things that I want to hire someone for in my business. Okay, so I'm going to look at these now. Here's their description. I'm a professional mainstream and adult writer with 4 years of relevant experience. I've served numerous clients, mostly Americans and Europeans. So that's perfect English. Education, bachelor's degree in mass communications. Again, like I told you before, everyone will have a bachelor's degree. 3 to 4 years of experience, temporarily employed, salary expectations, PHP 10,000. Okay, here's how this works. This is always a monthly number, what they want to make per month. It's almost always in Filipino pesos. And so how you convert this is you take the number that they're asking, Filipino pesos, 10,000, divided by the current conversion rate, which is about 43 to 1. So I'm going to take 10,000, I'm going to do this over here. 10,000 divided by 43, $232. So they're asking for $232 per month, and you can see below part-time. Okay, so that's pretty expensive, actually. $500 a month, 400 and whatever it is, $460 a month for full-time work if they're available full-time. Like I told you before, hire full-time people. Okay, let's look at another one here. Here's another resume. Marketing writer, content writer, blog writer, SEO writer. I'm looking for a long-term online job as a marketing writer, content. I graduated with a degree in English literature and language from a reputable Philippine State University. Okay, again, perfect English. A bachelor's degree, again, 3 to 4 years of experience. Unemployed, big surprise. Salary expectations negotiable. Okay, let me tell you what negotiable means. You remember the guy that I told you that I hired that is a good graphic designer and a good programmer? Just so you know, those two skills are almost impossible to find in the same person anywhere in the world, even in the Philippines. So when I found this guy, I really, really wanted to hire him. And so I worked out all the details with him of employment, and his salary said negotiable. And so finally I asked him, how much do you want to make? He said $1,100 per month. I said, okay, I will go find someone else because I know that for $1,100 per month, I can hire 3 people. So he says, wait, how much did you want to pay me? I said $450. He said, great, when can I start? So when it says negotiable, it really means negotiable. Now, I'm not advocating that you take advantage of people or underpay people or anything. He doesn't make that now. But I'm just saying it's negotiable. Available immediately, full-time, from home, fluent in English. Okay, so let's look at another one here. Writer, article writer, content writer. I'm an enthusiastic freelance web writer who's currently looking for a full-time job. Pretty dang good English. Bachelor's degree, 1 year of experience, self-employed. Okay, let's stop here for a second. Someone who says they're self-employed immediately throws up a red flag to me because they're not entrepreneurial. There's a problem here. The second thing here is their salary expectations say $300. They don't use the dollar sign to denote Filipino pesos in the Philippines. So that's US dollars per month. Not that I wouldn't hire someone asking for US dollars if they were the right person, but in general, I'm going to shy away from it. Because I know, in my experience, I can hire the same skill set for a lot less from someone asking for Filipino pesos. Again, not if this was the right person, not that I wouldn't hire them. I'm just saying I'm going to shy away from this. So just so you know, $300 immediately full-time, still pretty dang good. Okay, so here's how you contact these people. At the bottom, you scroll down to access the full details of this candidate. Log into the control panel. Then, if you haven't registered your business yet, please click here. Here's how you register your business. Okay, here's what happened. Just over a year ago, the owners of bestjobs.ph went crazy. And when I say they went crazy, I literally mean these guys are wackos. All of a sudden, one day, they shut down the site. They banned everyone's accounts. No warnings, no refunds, no questions asked. They stopped all new registrations all at once. They decided they don't want anybody hiring Filipinos anymore. And we're thinking like, what are you doing? And it doesn't make sense. There's no logic behind this. And so for a long time, you just couldn't get an account. A couple months ago, they decided to open it up again. And so here's what they did. To create an account, you create a username and password. You put in your business information. You have to describe your company. And then, here's the funny thing. And this shows you how crazy people are. Before you can sign up, you have to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes saying that you will not violate their terms of service. You won't do anything that's against their ideas or their thoughts or their will or whatever side of the bed they woke up on this day. Because if you do, they will not warn you. They will ban your account. No refund, no questions asked. It's kind of crazy. So I show you Best Jobs because it's still a very valid place to hire people. You just have to know what you're getting into. So just be aware of it if you decide to go this route. So when all this happened, when they went crazy, I say when they went crazy, I said there's got to be a better way to do this because than dealing with these people, there's got to be a better way. So that's when we started onlinejobs.ph. So a couple things about onlinejobs.ph. First of all, the tagline is Filipinos getting online jobs with American companies. So up front, when you go here, you know that the people that you're going to hire or the people that you're finding are looking to work online. You know they have a computer and internet access. You know that they're looking for what you are looking for. Where in other places where you're trying to hire people, that's just not the case. They're usually looking to find a job in the Philippines working in an office somewhere. So you know up front what they're looking for. Also, we go through an expectation process with them when they sign up. We tell them, here's what you can expect when you're doing this. Here's what you can expect of your foreign boss. Here's the kinds of things they're going to want you to do for them. Here's what they will expect of you. Here are the kinds of things that you can do to make this a better experience for both of you. So we go through this expectation process to make this a lot easier for everyone involved. Okay, so here's another thing that we did differently. Instead of taking Filipino resumes and letting them write a whole bunch of junk about the church they go to and what grades they got in elementary school, which they will do, instead of letting them do that, we said, we want you to rate yourself on these skill sets. And this goes back to the loyalty or to the honesty thing where we thought they'd be pretty dang honest about it. So let me show you how this works. On the left side here, I'm going to search for English writing under the category and subcategory. And so after searching for that, notice over 26,000 results of people who have said they know English on some level. And how have they rated themselves? Well, this first person says advanced. These next people, the top one there that's kind of cut off, you can see it says intermediate, and the next one's advanced, and then intermediate and beginner. So you can see right away they're trying to be honest with you in rating themselves on their skills. Now, just so you know, often Filipinos just don't know what they don't know. And so I've seen times where I've seen a couple people where they've rated themselves a beginner in English, where I saw that their English was really, really good. Yet they still rated themselves a beginner. I've seen other times where they've rated themselves advanced at English, where their English really wasn't all that great. So just something to be aware of as you're doing this. Okay, so I'm going to look at a couple of these now. Article writer, web content writer, virtual assistant, researcher. Those are the kinds of skills that I want in my business. Desired salary, 15,000 PHP a month. 15,000 Filipino pesos, which is 15,000 divided by 43, about $350 a month for full-time work, and they're unemployed. Big surprise. You can see that they have a bachelor's degree in math communications. Skills. Let's see, my first experience in writing was a local Catholic newspaper as a reporter correspondent. I was writing news stories and feature stories which usually revolve around religious. Okay, perfect English for $350 a month full-time. Now let's look at some of this person's skills. So they've rated themselves on all these things. Ability to solve problems, email, gathering information, Google Docs. Okay, so they're intermediate or advanced at these things. How are their... As we scroll down here, you can see their English. They say they're advanced speaking and writing. They have a little bit of marketing skills. That's good to see. It's also just so you know, it's also good to see some things that they've said that they don't have any of those skills. It means they're being honest with you. No really marketing. Not really any webmaster. I already showed you the marketing. They just didn't write a comment there. Not really a webmaster. No programming. Okay, so that was one person. Here's another resume that I want to show you. This person has listed at the top, web design, developing WordPress installation, theme making, visual effects, movie making, logo banner, graphic design, data entry, SEO. Okay, this person doesn't exist. I'm just saying, you're not going to find someone that has all of these skills. So maybe this person, again, just doesn't know what he doesn't know and has listed everything that he's ever heard of. Because that's possible. And then you look down, he's 19 years old and his desired salary is 7,000 pesos a month, which... 7,000 is not very much money. Let's see. Where's that calculator? 7,000 divided by 43 is $160 a month for full-time work. Okay, so something's wrong there. Maybe he left out a 1. Maybe he meant 17,000. Maybe he's a very technical guy. I don't know. So let's just look at some of the skills, just so you guys are aware of what you can find. So he's rated himself advanced, intermediate, or beginner at a lot of things. It's good to see that he's rated himself a beginner because that means he's trying to be honest with you. Advanced speaking, intermediate writing, good. It's good to see that he doesn't have any skill in branding, but he has some exposure to advertising, blogging, email, AdSense, some pretty good AdSense and AdWords experience. That's good to see. Okay, webmaster. He's seen autoresponders. He can back up MySQL, but he's not real good at it. You probably have to do some research, but that means he could do it for you. FTP is really good at some HTML skills. It's good to see that he doesn't know everything about being a webmaster. Some graphics. Okay, let me talk for a second about graphics. This is funny. In the Philippines, what I found that every university basically requires people to take a class in Photoshop before they graduate. And so what you get is a bunch of Filipinos who think that they're graphic designers because they've had a class in Photoshop. And I made this mistake once. I only made it once, and I'll never make it again. But just because someone's had a class in Photoshop doesn't mean they're a graphic designer. So I found this person once who said they had some Photoshop experience and their English was fantastic. So I hired them thinking they can do all this writing for me and I could have them do some great graphics work for me. Wrong. Their graphic design skills were terrible, but they had had a class in Photoshop. So just because someone says they have Photoshop experience does not mean they're a graphic designer. So if you're hiring someone to do graphics work, just make sure that you look at their stuff first. Okay, so no finance skills from this guy. Let's look at another. Oh, okay, so here's where online jobs gets really, really great. And this is why it really stands out above anything else. Besides having way more resumes, way more people, way more skill sets in it than any other site online, because we didn't let people put in their resumes and we had them rate themselves on things, if you click on this advanced search, you can all of a sudden search on multiple skill sets at the levels that you want. So I'm going to do this. As you expand these things, I'm going to search advanced English writing. I'm also going to search advanced blogging. And I'm going to search advanced SEO, advanced WordPress. I'm going to add one more, which is advanced web page design. So you can see the 5 things that I searched for there. Advanced writing, advanced blogging, advanced SEO, advanced WordPress, and advanced web page design. Over 470 people have said that they are advanced at all 5 of these things. And how much do they want to make? This first person, 10,000 pesos a month, 10,000 pesos a month, 12,000 pesos a month, 18,000 pesos a month. Just so you know, 10,000 is 230, 18,000 is 418 pesos per month for full-time work. And what are they saying? I've been doing these online jobs 1 year already, so I'm confident to do these again with proper and efficient working. Link building, article writing, backlinking, WordPress site setup, SEO, forum software. These are pretty dang good skills to find, especially at these these affordable rates. So, and just so you guys know, you can find anything here. I found one time the resume of the secretary to the president of the Philippine Stock Exchange. She wasn't cheap, but as you would imagine, she was really good. So you can literally find any skill set that you want. You want someone to take phone calls for you or make phone calls for you? Done. You want someone to write content? Done. You want someone to do complex programming for you? Done. You want a webmaster? Easy. You can find anything here. So here's how you contact these people. You have to upgrade to see the contact information, and then it's $49 a month, or there's a couple of discount plans. In a minute, I'll tell you how you can get this for free. So, is that good, or is that good? I hope that's enough information now for you to go out and be able to find someone today and start the hiring process so that you can start, working as the CEO. Okay, I have 22 tips. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because we are approaching an hour. So, number 1, daily email. I require all of my people to send me an email every day. In that email, I want them to answer 3 questions. What did you do today? What problems did you run into? And what can I help you with? So this daily email does 2 things. First of all, it holds them accountable for what they're working on. Because if they didn't do anything today, they have a hard time telling me, what did you do today? And also, just so you know, even if they didn't accomplish anything, I still want them to send me this email. And that's the reason for question number 2, which is, what problems did you run into? And I have another reason for that question I'll tell you about in a second. The second thing that this daily email does is it lets me be the CEO of this business and focus on more important things, like how do I make sales and how do I do the marketing of this to achieve the goals of my business, and not focus on, oh man, I wonder what they're doing today, or I wonder how many articles got written, or man, how many directories are we submitting to, or how much SEO work is getting done. Those are the minute details that if your brain is thinking about those things, it's having a hard time solving the big problems, like how do you make more sales and how do you make more money. So this daily email lets me not micromanage. It lets me not focus on the minute details of the business, and lets me be the CEO, where I can now solve the big problems, the problems that are important to making money. Okay, number 2, the difficult first task. This is the single biggest problem you will run into in working with Filipinos. And when I started doing this, I didn't know this problem. Here's what happened. I was hiring people at one point, and they do some really, really good work for me for a couple of weeks or a couple of days, and all of a sudden they disappear. And I'd never hear from that person again. And I didn't know what was going on. It was so frustrating. So I started giving this difficult first task to start weeding people out. And so here's the difficult first task that I would give to people. I'd buy a domain and I'd hire them, and I'd say, here's this domain. Here's access to my hosting account. I want you to set this domain up on my hosting account, set up WordPress on it, change the theme, and write a post and a page. So what this does is it tells me all kinds of things about this person. First of all, I know that they understand hosting, they understand domains, they understand WordPress, they understand scripts and HTML and FTP and uploading, and they know how to Google, they know how to solve problems, because this is a hard task if you've never done it before. So, and I was all of a sudden starting to be able to weed people out. Well, later on, I figured out exactly why this was so successful. Here's the giant problem that you'll face with working with Filipinos. Filipinos in general, culturally, feel unworthy. They feel like they're not good enough, like they're not going to qualify, like the work that they're doing isn't going to be good enough for you and you're going to be disappointed. So what I found that this difficult first task does is it lets me set the right expectations with this person. So here's what I do. When I hire someone, I send them an email like this. You're hired, you have a job, here's the first task I'm giving you, and I describe it. And then I say, I know that this is a difficult first task. I know that you don't know how to do this. I know that you're scared and you think you're going to fail. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to try it. I want you to try and figure it out. I want you to Google it. Try and find a tutorial. Ask your friends what they know about it, how to do this. When you get stuck on something, because I know you will get stuck on something, I know you're going to have a problem. When you get stuck, I want you to come to me and ask me. I want you to ask me how to solve it, or tell me what the problem is, because I know how to solve it. And if I don't know how to solve it, I can at least find someone else who can. I can ask my friends. We can ask around. So what I found was that this difficult first task really lets you set the right expectations with people, so that now they know that when they run into difficulties, they ask you. Here's how I know that this is the problem. And if someone disappears from you, 98% of the time, this is the problem. They're embarrassed. I get a text from my brother a while back. My brother has three people in the Philippines working for him now. And he says, John, I have this great programmer, but he just disappeared. What's wrong? And I texted him back and said, he's embarrassed. Figure it out. So like a week later, he says, you were right. He was embarrassed. He had a problem that he didn't know how to solve. He didn't know what to do, and he was embarrassed to tell me that he didn't know how to solve this problem. So all of a sudden, I sought it out and I figured out how to solve the problem. And now he says, this guy's back working for me again, doing amazing work for me. So set the right expectations with them from the beginning. It's super, super important. Okay, low starting wage, raise the wage quickly, give bonuses for good work. What do I mean by good work? Okay, a while back I gave one of my guys the task of doing article marketing, and I gave him some pretty specific instructions. Again, you have to train them how to run your business for you. They don't know how to run your business for you up front. And so I gave him some pretty specific instructions, like here's how you write the articles, here's the formatting for them, here are the sites that you submit to, here's how often you do it, here's how you do the links, here's why we're doing this. I gave him all these very specific instructions. And I let him go. And like 6 months later, I was thinking about it. I wonder how article marketing is going, because I was getting the daily emails from this guy, and I don't know why he wasn't sending me updates about this specific task. And so I was thinking about it, and I said, so I sent him an email. I said, are you still doing article marketing? What's going on with that? Because I haven't heard about it in a long time. And here's what he sends back to me. He says, sir, I'm still doing article marketing for you, but after doing it a couple times the way you told me, I went out and did some research on my own, and I figured out that if I do it like this and like this instead of how you told me, and if I use these websites in addition to the ones you told me, and if I do it this often instead of how often you told me to do it, it's way more effective. I hope that's okay with you, sir. And I'm like, really? You seriously went above and beyond to try and do this more effective to make me more money? Because if my boss had given me some specific instructions, there's not a chance in the world I'm going to go out and try and figure out how to do it better so that he can make more money. And yet I've come to realize this is a normal experience. They want to do anything they can to help make you happy, to help you succeed once you've hired them full time so they can keep their job. Another time, the website that makes me $10,000 to $15,000 a month, one day I get an email from one of my guys that says, "Sir, I think we got dropped from Google today because all of a sudden we got 10 times less traffic today than we did yesterday. Look." And I go and look, and sure enough, we got 10 times less traffic today, and we've been dropped from Google. And I don't know why. I don't know what Google's doing. I just figure this is Google being Google. They just do random crap sometimes. And so I sent him an email and said, "I don't know what's happening. Don't worry about it. We haven't done anything wrong. We didn't do anything deserving of being dropped. We haven't done anything black hat. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's all correct, good stuff." And so, and then I forgot about it. A couple weeks later, I get an email from him that says, "Sir, I think I figured it out." And I'm thinking like, what did you figure out? Because I didn't ask you to figure anything out. And I keep reading, and he says, "Look at this." And he sends me a link to SEObrowser.com, which is a site that shows you what search engines see when they see your website. And so he says, "Look at the bottom." So I go look at the bottom. There are 300 links to spam pages that we don't own on our website. We've been hacked. And instead of being a malicious hacker, this was a smart hacker. He's using our site's page rank and authority to link to his website so he can make money. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we got hacked. Fix it. Take them down. Secure our website. Fix it. So he fixes it. A week later, we're back in Google like nothing ever happened. Back up to normal levels. And so I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, you know what? I told him don't worry about it. Why did he do that? So I sent him an email and said, "Hey, why did you do that? Why did you spend the time to go figure out what was happening? Why we got dropped?" And he says, "Sir, I did it because I know that if your website's not getting traffic, then you're not making money. And if you're not making money, then your business isn't succeeding. And your business success is important to me." And what do you say to that? And I've come to realize this is a normal experience. This is they want to make you happy. They want to do good work so that you succeed. And not everyone you find will be like this, but more often than not, they will. So I sent him a bonus. I sent him $100 this month, and he was thrilled. The guy that did the article marketing thing that sent me that email, I sent him $50 that month. He was thrilled, extra as a bonus. Give bonuses when they do good work. Number 6, network. Once you found someone that's working for you, when you're ready to hire someone else, ask them who they know that you can hire. If they find someone for you, it will take them 3 weeks. Why it takes 3 weeks, I don't know. But every time I've done this, it's taken 3 weeks to find someone. Number 7, let them figure stuff out. Okay, you can't do this up front. You can't just say, "Hey, I want you to go market my website. Go figure it out." They're scared. They're embarrassed. They don't know how. You have to teach them up front. But once you've taught them a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of how to run your business, all of a sudden you have to teach them less and less because they know more and more, and now they understand how things work, and you can let them figure stuff out for you. And just so you know, I know this is a mindset change because in the US, we're so used to working our butts off. When something goes wrong, we work our butts off to figure it out and make it right. That this really is a mindset change to letting someone else figure it out and trusting them to kind of figure it out correctly for you. So, that I understand that's something that you'll have to work at in terms of like what you're used to. And it took me a long time to get there. Okay, number 8, use Jing. Jing is a complete game changer. Remember earlier when I told you that I would show you how to build a website? Let me show you how I built onlinejobs.ph. So let's go back here. Here's Jing. It's a little application that sits open on your desktop. Whoops. It is made by the makers of Camtasia. The guys, the screen recording software. This is screen recording and screen capture software. Sits open. You open it up, drag it out, and it's going to capture my screen. So when I did this with online jobs, first of all, I went to other websites and said, I captured it, and I would take these pictures and say, I like this and I like that, and I don't like this and I don't like that. Or now I can annotate this image and say, I like this, move this over here. And then I can say, you know, I like this, move this over here. The search box is on the left. Whoops. Darn it, wrong one. I don't want it on the left. I want it on the right. So now I have this image that I can send to them and they know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's the real magic of Jing. Click upload. Jing uploads it to a server for you and puts the URL in your clipboard. So now all I have to do is click paste, and that image is online immediately. All I have to do is click paste into an email, and they can see it immediately. Okay, so here's the real magic of Jing. It will record video. Record your screen and your voice. So let me show you this real quick. Building the website, so I drag it out, capture video. Now it's capturing my microphone on the screen, and I say, do you know what? I really like the way you laid out this employer skill search, but it's on the right side, and I really like it on the left side, so move it over there. And also the advanced search isn't really standing out, so make it stand out and put it underneath the search box also so that people can see it when they're searching the advanced search. Click stop. Click upload. Jing uploads the video to a server. There's no rendering, there's no FTP, there's no dealing with files. It puts the URL in your clipboard. So now all I have to do is click paste. And there's my video. Oh, that's not my video. Come on. I was just too fast for it. Paste. That's my video. And all of a sudden, there's my video. And you have I didn't have to deal with my server or any URLs or anything like that, and you can see the video right there. Say, you know what? I really like the way you laid out this employer skill search, but there we go. Jing changes everything, and oh, by the way, it's free. Jingproject.com. Again, jingproject.com. It's Jing. I can't believe people make stuff like this and give it away for free. Unbelievable. Oops, let's go back here. Okay, use Jing. I know some of you guys are thinking, oh, I got ScreenFlow. Oh, I got Camtasia. No, use Jing. It's like 10 times faster and easier than using anything else for day-to-day stuff. I use it every single day. Jing changes everything when you're doing this. Okay, how I communicate with people. I already told you about the MP3 that I recorded to do stuff, and I will do that still with people. I communicate using email, instant messenger, and a project management system. And I'll tell you about the project management system in a minute. I almost never talk to them on the phone. They don't want to talk to you. They're scared that you won't understand them. They know they'll understand you because they watch American movies all the time. They watch American TV. They listen to American music. They know they'll understand you, but they're very scared and embarrassed that you won't understand them. And also, often they don't have microphones for their computers. So if you want them to be using Skype, you got to buy them a microphone. Number 10, give them access to your software, your ebooks. Give them access to your membership sites. Give them access to your hosting account. You know, the first time I ever did this, I was scared of him, getting into my hosting account, and so I created this special FTP access to my hosting account and gave him a task. And then the next day I wanted him to do something else, so I had to go create another special FTP access, and I realized really quickly, this is lame. And I'm really in this to make my life easier, and so I stopped giving special access. Just give them access to your hosting account. They don't want to screw anything up. They don't want to mess it up. They don't want to steal your stuff. Give them a job. Okay, when you hire someone, give them a full-time job. Tell them you're hired. Here's what I expect. I expect 40 hours a week. I expect you to be here these days. Don't try and get them to do work before you hire them. Don't try and tell them like, hey, I want you to do this task, and then I'll evaluate and see if I want to hire you or not, and I'm doing this with 2 other people. They're scared that they're not going to get paid. They're way more scared about not getting paid than you are about paying them for not doing work. So, which brings me to how do I pay people? I use Zoom.com to pay people, XOOM.com. It's like wiring money, like Western Union, except it's cheaper, faster, and easier. Also, just so you know, every once in a while, any method of sending money over there will, at some point, they won't let you send money. So you've got to know multiple ways of sending money. Other ways include PayPal, eMoneyGram, Remit Home. There's a couple different ways to send money. Just so you know, once you've sent the money, you'll be fine. They'll never have a problem receiving the money. The problem always happens before you're able to send the money. So you just got to know multiple ways. Also, just so you know, I pay people monthly. I make them send me an invoice every month on the same day of the month, and that's how I pay them. And I tell them, if you don't send me an invoice, I'm not going to remember to pay you, and I just won't pay you. And so, again, I'm not in this to give myself more stuff to do. I'm in this to I'm in this to make my life easier. Just so when you guys get started, you will probably need to pay people weekly for the first couple months because, again, they're scared about not getting paid. So when you hire someone, tell them, I will pay you every week after you've done the work. Do not prepay for work ever. I'm just saying, don't prepay for work. Tell them I'll pay you every week for the first 2 months after we've established some trust, and I'm going to start paying you monthly, and you send me the invoices every month. Okay, number 14, number 15, customs. Let's talk about retaining customs. I remember the first email I ever got from someone said, "Dear sir, I hope you had a good and blessed day today. Here are the tasks that I did today. 1, 2, 3. Thanks and God bless. Name." So first of all, they're very religious. Second of all, I remember feeling my stomach turn over because it was the first time I've ever been called sir in my life. And I immediately started a response back that said, "Please don't ever call me sir again." And then I thought better of it. And I didn't send the email. And I'm really glad that I didn't because every communication that I've ever gotten since starts with sir or boss or something of the sort. Leave it alone. I'm just saying, let them do it. The 13th month, number 14. So in the Philippines, if you're a Filipino employer in the Philippines hiring Filipinos in your office, it's legally required that after someone has worked for you for a year, you give them a bonus of 1 month's pay called the 13th month. So, and actually it's paid in December every year. So if you hire someone in January, in December you're going to pay them December's salary plus a bonus of 1 month's extra salary, the 13th month. Also, this is prorated. So if you hire someone in June, in December you're going to pay them December's salary plus a bonus of half of 1 month's salary. The Filipinos will expect this of you. This is important. They will expect this 13th month of you, but they won't tell you about it. So this is what I do when I hire someone. I tell them I know about the 13th month. I will pay it, but I need you to remind me about it because if you don't remind me, I'm going to forget and then I won't pay it. So just tell them that you know about it and that you'll pay it and to remind you. Okay, number 16, the second biggest problem that you will find is internet outages and power outages. So you will get an email from someone that says, "Sir, I'm so sorry I couldn't work today for 4 hours because we had a power outage, but don't worry, sir, I'll make it up for you tonight and on Saturday." So, this is something that you have to figure out how you're going to deal with it. Is it really that big of a problem? I don't know. At least they're being honest with you. How I deal with it is I don't make them make it up. And I'm probably a little bit more lenient on this than most people are where, for me, as long as they're making me more money than I'm paying them, I don't really care. That's true up to a point where I don't care if they work 36 hours or 30 hours or 20 hours. But you know what? If they're working 20 hours, I'm probably not very happy about it because I know what I should expect. But as long as they're making me more money than I'm paying them, I really just like to make their lives better. So I don't make them make up time like this. You need to figure out how you are going to deal with it in your business. Okay, use recurring tasks. I found that if you use tasks that they can do over and over again, it helps keep them busy. It helps keep you busy, doing more important things. It makes this a lot easier and more effective. And I'll talk about that more in a second. Use a task manager. RTM is Remember the Milk. Active Collab is more of a fully blown project management system, and that's the one that I use. I'll tell you how you can get that for free in a second. Number 19, it's there twice. It's that important. It's highlighted in green. Make them send you a daily email. It's so important. Number 20, document what you teach them. And 21, be the expert or don't expect much. Okay, I've said this already, that they do not have the educated workforce. You have to train them how to run your business. They don't know how to do it up front. So when you train them on something, keep your documentation because you're very likely to hire someone else. If you don't train someone how to do something, don't expect them to do it well because they don't know how. And on top of that, they're scared about doing it wrong. So if you haven't taught them how to do it, don't expect them to do it. I'll show you how you can get some trainings for how to do this in a second so this does become more of just a communication thing like I told you before. Number 22, I don't like this one, but I have it here for a reason. If you don't feel like you know how to hire, that you have the resources to hire someone, if you don't feel like you can afford it, if you don't feel like you have enough work to keep someone busy full time, split someone. I don't recommend part-time workers. A full-time worker, it's more than just the difference of like 20 to 40 hours a week. This is really like a 4 times productivity difference, where a full-time worker has a stake in your business. They care. They want you to succeed. Where in the Philippines, part-time work is always associated with temporary work. So hire someone full-time, and if you don't think you can, find someone else who wants to hire someone, and hire a full-time person and split that person. Again, I don't recommend this, but I just want you to go hire someone, because this will change your life. It'll change the way you think about business. It'll change the way you work on your business instead of work in your business. Just go hire someone. Okay, here are a partial list of things that you guys will do for you. I'm going to go through this really quickly. Web 2.0 affiliate marketing, directory submission, AdWords. I have a guy that runs my AdWords account for me. And I know some of you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, how can you do that? He could screw up. He could cost you so much money. Why would he do that? So he could lose his job? Because really, he just wants to do a good job. And you got to teach them how to do this. But once you've taught them, they're really good at it. Squidoo, Facebook, Wikipedia, Mininet. If you don't know what a Mininet is, I'm about to show you. It's amazingly easy to get to the top of Google once you start implementing the Mininet concept. Software tools, info product creation, article marketing, blog comments, RSS feeds, pinging, research, Craigslist, video marketing, SEO, other people, copywriting. I have a girl that writes sales copy for me. It's not the best sales copy ever, but it converts. And it's something that I didn't have to deal with. I didn't have to write it. I didn't have to go find a copywriter. And I'm helping her to get better at it. MySpace, press releases, blogging, testing, Yahoo Answers, customer support, filtering email. I have a guy that every day when he's done working, he logs into my Gmail account and archives all the emails he knows I don't want to see, so that when I get up in the morning, I have a clean inbox. Again, I'm in this to make my life easier. I like my lifestyle, and that's why I do this. And this is just one more thing that makes it easier for me, so my brain can focus on more important things, like making sales. MSN SEO, linking, Twitter, forum posting, eBay, because this is a partial list of things you guys will do for you. Here's a mini net. Let me explain real quickly how Google works. How do you get to the top of Google? Google says there are 2 things that affect how you get to the top. Number 1, what does your website say? What's it about? What are the keywords on your website? What does your page say? But more importantly, what do other pages say about your website? Which means, how many other websites link to your website? And who are those other websites? So don't go out and put a whole bunch of links on your website, linking to other people's sites. That's the opposite of what you want. Now, you have to have some, because Google expects your website to link to other websites. But really what you want is other people to link to you. So how do you do that? Well, you could do what a lot of people will tell you, and go out and send emails to other webmasters and saying, hey, let's do a reciprocal link exchange. And in my opinion, that is exceptionally inefficient and kind of silly. So how do you get other websites to link to you? Well, what if you own all the other websites? What if you create them? So let me show you this diagram. These orange or these red boxes represent my website. All these other lines here are links. WordPress is linking to this page on my site. Ever.com is linking to me. Squidoo is linking to me. Blogger is linking to me. HubPage is linking to me. Zanga is linking to me. Vox is linking to me. I don't even know what Ever.com or Zanga or Vox are, but I know that they're linking to me. And how do you think I'm doing on Google now that I have all these other websites linking to me? I'll tell you, I'm doing pretty dang well. And I didn't build any of this. My guys in the Philippines built it all for me. And just so you know, it's all blurred out because I got tired of finding exact replicas of my website. I got tired of people realizing how much money I was making and how easy it was to do this, and how it had all been outsourced. I got tired of finding exact copies. So it's just blurred out, so I stopped finding copies on my website. There's no other magic here. Okay, so this is that mini net in the beginning. Here's that mini net about 18 months ago. Where the blue one in the middle is my website. All the lines are links. These orange ones is the mini net from the previous page. These blue ones here is an entirely different mini net. These purple ones is an entirely different mini net. We have all these other things going on. Being number 1 on Google is ridiculously easy when you understand and implement this process. Trying to do it yourself is almost impossible. There's not enough time to do it yourself. There's not enough, you don't have the mental capacity as the CEO of your business to do this yourself. You have to have someone else do it for you. I tried. And I'll tell you, I got about as far as setting up one page on my website and setting up one other website and setting up one other link. And then I wanted to kill myself because I was so bored. So, but implementing this is exceptionally effective. You just have to have someone else do it for you, and you have to teach them how to do it. You can't just do it. Just say go build a minute. You have to teach them how to do it. Okay, I had, in finishing this up, I had two experiences in the same week that kind of changed how I thought about this and what I was doing. So I don't know if you guys know Kurt Christensen, but I just helped Kurt hire his second guy in the Philippines. And he tells me, John, hiring the guys in the Philippines has been amazing for me. This first guy that I hired put an extra $35,000 into my bank account this year. But he says, I want to hire them and tell them, go join this affiliate program and get the affiliate link and cloak it and put it on this WordPress blog as a page, not a post. And he says to me, I can't do that. They have no clue what I'm talking about. They're not affiliate marketers. So he says, I need a system that would help getting a person up to speed so that they're more on the same level as I am. And for me, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've just kind of developed that system for myself, and I knew from the beginning I had to do it, and I never really kind of thought about it until this week. Not this week right now, but when I had this conversation with Kurt. And at that same week, I had another conversation with another friend of mine, Jeff, out in Boston. I had just helped him hire his first guy in the Philippines. And Jeff instant messages me and says, Jeff calls me and says, and he's a little bit frantic. And he says, John, my guy just instant messaged me. And he says, sir, I finished the first task you gave me. What do you want me to do for the other 7.5 hours today? And Jeff's like, I got stuff for him to do, but I'm busy. It's going to take me like 4 hours to teach him how to do this. And what do I do? And so I said, what do you want him to do for you? I want him to do article marketing for me. Okay, great. I have an article marketing training that I've given to my guys. It's pretty dang good. You can give it to the guy that you hired. He'll start doing article marketing. You'll have to do almost nothing to get him to start doing this, and it'll be done. And so it was these two experiences in the same week that really kind of opened my eyes to the last thing that people need when you get started doing this. I've showed you everything. I've shown you what's possible. I've shown you what you can have them do for you. I've shown you how to find these people. The last piece is training, because you have to train them how to do these things. And then after that, it's just about communication. And how do you communicate with people? How do you express your ideas? So here's what I've done. Over the years, I've saved all the training that I've given to my guys and put it together into a system that you guys can get access to today. Here's how it works. It's a monthly program. Each month, you'll get access to one of my training modules, like article marketing or video marketing or how to build a mini-net or how to run an AdWords account or Facebook, MySpace, Squidoo or directory submissions or social bookmarking or social networking or all these things that I've talked about that my guys are doing for me, you can have your guys do for you. And it'll be my training to teach them how to do this. So how it works is the first month in the system, the first module, is designed for you, the business owner. It's designed for you to get going quickly on this, avoiding the mistakes and the problems that typically people have when they get started doing this. It's designed to get you hiring someone quickly so you can start working on your business, not in your business. Every month after that, it's not for you anymore. It's for the guys that you hire in the Philippines. It's my training given to them, so that every month they're starting to do something for you that you otherwise weren't doing. So here's how you're going to do this. You're going to hire someone full-time. You're going to give them a single task to do. Once they've done that task and started doing it well, they've learned a lot of stuff about your business. Now you can give them another task. And maybe it's 3 weeks later, maybe it's 6 weeks later, maybe it's a week later. Now you can give them another task to do, and all of a sudden they're doing 2 tasks for you. And in another month, you give them another task to do, and all of a sudden they're doing 3 different things that otherwise you wouldn't have been able to do. And in 6 months, they have 6 things going on. They're doing each of them a part-time, and all of a sudden you start succeeding in your business because you're implementing. Now this can be, if you're an expert at something, great. Give them my training, bring them up to speed so that you don't have to teach them every little minute detail, and then give them your expert knowledge. If you're not an expert, if you're a newbie, if you're just beginning at this and you don't know what you're doing, okay, give them my trainings. I'm not saying that my trainings are the best things ever, but what I am saying is that they work, that they get them going, they get them implementing this process, and in this business, implementation is 90% of success. Doing it perfectly is the opposite of succeeding in this business. You really just need to be implementing. And so if you don't know how to do this, if you don't know how to build a mini-net, great, give them my mini-net training and let them go build it for you. These are the same trainings that I give to my guys that help me build these businesses, that make me $10,000 to $15,000 a month. Remember, they don't know how to run your business for you. You have to train them, and don't create analysis paralysis. That's why this is a monthly program. Don't go out and say, hey, I want you to market my website and give them all these trainings all at once. Give them one at a time. Let them do that one thing, help them through it, and then give them another training. Okay, so when you get into this today, I'm going to give you a bunch of bonuses. First of all, the project management system that I use, Active Collab, I went and licensed it from the company that makes it, and I'm going to give that to you for free so that you have a project management system to use to manage your people. It's a $400 piece of software that you're going to get. You're also going to get for free access to bestjobs.ph and onlinejobs.ph. So, I showed you that Online Jobs is $50 a month, and Best Jobs it's about $120 for 3 months of access if you want to take that risk. And you're going to get access to both of them for free. You're also going to get access to a pre-screened employee list. We create a list of people where we've contacted them and kind of filtered through them and said, are you ready to work, and what's your situation, and how much do you want to make, and what are your skills? And we go through that so that if you don't want to go through that filtering process, we can do it. We've done it for you. You can look at the list, pick someone, and say, I want to hire that guy, and he can start working for you today or tomorrow. There's an extra fee for that, but it's pretty dang reasonable. I have some specific hiring instructions, like what's the process that I use when I hire someone, how do you pay your people, instructions for tools that I use. I'll explain tax concerns. I have some employment contracts that you can use. I have a tips and tricks and pitfalls audio that people paid to be on this call, and you're going to get access to that for free. I did a question and answer session with some people where these were people that had been hiring for a little while, and they still had questions, and I think I answered 91 questions that day. People paid to be on this call, and you're going to get access to that for free. The business in a box. Okay, here's what this is. This is a business that I implement in my business with my team. It is direct linking using Google AdWords, sending them straight to affiliate programs. The reason I give this to you is because over time I've seen that people often, you hear this, and it's different than anything you've ever heard about outsourcing before, and you want to hire someone, and it's exciting, and it makes sense to you, and it makes sense that this is how you're going to run your business for the rest of your life, but maybe right now, today, you're not ready to have that person working in your current business. This is where the business in a box come in. It's designed to get that person working for you with little to no intervention on your part so they can hopefully start making you money. Now, I will not make any income claims from this, but I will say that I make money from it today. This isn't something I did like 2 years ago. This is something I'm doing today. And I will tell you, I had a guy come to a seminar recently and tell me, John, I just came to thank you. I hired 2 people. I gave them the business in a box. They're making more than enough money to pay for themselves each month. And they're doing all these other things for me in my business. And I don't even know what they're doing. They're just doing this business in a box. So, again, it's there to help you out if you don't have a business that they can work for you today, if you're not ready for that. Okay, in my experience, keyword research is the basis for success in almost any internet business. And so I have a couple keyword research trainings that I'm going to give to you that you can give to your guys today to get them started off on the right foot when they're working for you. Last, I have access to 2 full days of internet marketing training seminars where some of the best speakers I know of came to these. And people paid $2,000 to be at this event, and I'm going to give this to you guys for free. Here's why. There's 2 reasons. 1, if you want to watch it, you can benefit from it. And 2, give this to your guys. Let them watch these trainings. They're going to have a pretty dang good education, so they're more on the same level as you are. And then they're probably also going to have a whole bunch of ideas that you wouldn't have otherwise had to implement in your business because they've watched some of these amazing speakers teach these things about internet marketing. So that's an added bonus for you guys. So when Alex asked me to do this, he asked me to come up with some special things for you guys. I have 3 things. 1, I have a report that's the top 7 ROI activities for your Filipino VA. The top 7 things that you can do to start bringing yourself the best return on your investment quickly without making the mistakes. Also, number 2, the 14 mistakes that most people make when starting and how to avoid them. These aren't hard mistakes. These aren't hard things to overcome. They're just things that you have to know about and know how to avoid them, or else you'll make them. I've literally seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people make these same mistakes over and over and over again, and you're going to be able to avoid them pretty easily. Okay, last unannounced bonus that I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you Module 2 for free in month 1. So it's a monthly program. Every month you're going to get access to a new training. The first month is designed for you, the business owner. Every month after that, it's not for you anymore. It's for your guys in the Philippines. So what I'm going to do for you guys today is I'm going to let you guys pick one of my trainings for your guys so that you can get that today. You can hire someone and get them working for you in your business today. And whichever one is, you can pick whichever one's most relevant for you. If you want them to start building a mini-net, great, pick my mini-net training. If you want them to start doing, social networking, great, pick that one. If you want them to start managing your AdWords account, do that. Or article marketing or video marketing or whatever it is, pick that training and give it to your guys. And that's just a bonus so that you can start having them be productive for you from day one. Okay, so I have one more thing that I want to show you, and we're out of time, so I'm not going to show you any more, but I want to show you this one. And this should play loud enough for you guys.
Hi, this is Steve from Las Vegas. I just want to say a big thank you to John. Your system has really changed my life. I started using it about 2 months ago, and I've been doing internet marketing now for 3 months, and I wasn't making any money when I came across your system, and I had one website up, and I ended up hiring a guy, and within 2 weeks, I started making money. And just last week alone, that one website made me $600. And over the last 2.5 months, I've made $10,100 directly from work that my guys in the Philippines are doing. I now have 3 guys working for me, which is kind of funny because when I was kind of hesitant to first sign up because I thought, I don't know if I have enough work to keep one guy busy. Well, when you have someone to actually implement stuff for you, you find out how much work there actually is that can be done. So I just want to say thank you, John. Your system really works, and it's really changed my life.
So I show this to you guys knowing full well the new FTC guidelines on what you can and can't say in testimonials. And I will say, this is a typical customer result. I've seen this so many times where people are trying to make money online. They're working in this internet business, and they're not succeeding because they're the ones trying to do all the work themselves. And then all of a sudden they start hiring people, and they start getting that person the right training, and all of a sudden they're implementing in their business, and you start succeeding because you're implementing and you're not the one doing the work, and now you can start thinking about the more important things in your business, like how to make money. So again, this is a typical customer result, and that's the reason I show it to you, because when you start hiring people and getting them the right stuff, I see it over and over again where people start succeeding. So I'm going to skip the rest of these because we don't have time to go through this stuff. Okay, the total value of all this stuff is over $8,500, and I'm not going to charge you that today. And I think the offer I'm going to make you is pretty dang reasonable. The total cost for you guys today for the first 22 people is $97. It's $97 to join, and it's $97 each month after that. Here's why it's limited. For a long time, I didn't limit it, and I found that if I don't limit it, and I let too many people in, all of a sudden we start creating hiring competition for ourselves, where, not that there's a limit to the number of Filipinos that can be hired. There's 100 million Filipinos. But on the websites where we are trying to hire people, and the search results that we're getting, I've seen too many times that people start trying to hire the same person, and all of a sudden it's just not a good experience. So I have to limit it. The first 22 people today, it's $97. Here's where you can go to get this. Go to replacemyself.com/Alex. Again, replacemyself.com/Alex. Here's what this is going to do for you. It's literally going to save you hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars in not making the same mistakes that I've made over the years, the same mistakes that I've seen hundreds of other people make, so you can shortcut your way to success in doing this, so you can start living the lifestyle that this is the reason you got into this in the first place, was to make the money so you can live the lifestyle, so you can spend it with your family. So here's what I want you to do. Go to replacemyself.com/Alex. On that page is a confirmation of all the things we just talked about. On that page is also an add to cart button. So on that page is an add to cart button. I want you to click the add to cart button, go through the checkout process, and get inside. Once you get inside, there is a step-by-step process for you to follow. Step 1, step 2, step 3. That process is designed to get you hiring someone quickly and avoiding the mistakes. It's designed to get you going through the material and get familiar with the system so you can succeed at this. Go through the process and hire someone. This is life-changing. That's what this whole system is designed for, to make this easy for you so you can do it, so you can start being the CEO of your business. So, again, for the first 22 people, it's $97. Replacemyself.com/Alex. Alex, I am pretty much done. Is there anything you want to add before we finish?
No, dude, that was an absolutely rocking webinar, and you're just like on fire. Just so packed with beautiful, great, applicable content. And I can tell everybody who's here from first-hand experience that everything that John has just said is 100% true. Okay, I'm not sure exactly when I started doing this. It was about 10 months ago, if I remember correctly. And until that point in time, I was doing things on freelance, and I was outsourcing to Indians, and it worked okay, but it was always like kind of backward, difficult process, and I was paying on average at least twice, if not 3 times, the price that I now pay for my Filipinos. And I got John's program, and immediately I thought, immediately when I got in there, I was like, oh, my head was spinning with all the possibilities. And I knew that for once I wasn't going to be doing all the work myself, and that that I was going to be able to let go a little bit and actually get somebody else to do the work while I enjoyed my time and the money that freed up. And since that time, we now have 8 Filipino workers on our team, and every single one of these people is busy all the time, and so as you can see, that's about 1 new person a month. And the reason why that happens is that your business is kind of like a snowball process, okay? And for a certain amount of time, it's you pushing the snowball until it gets to a certain size where it can kind of support its own self. Now, once you start bringing in at least just one person that starts doing the work for you, especially the work that, frankly, you shouldn't be doing yourself in the first place. And that might be writing content, it might be building links, and oftentimes those are the kind of things that, let's face it, it doesn't take a genius to do these things, and so that's one of the reasons why you don't do it in the first place, is because you got into this thing for 2 reasons. First of all, if you're an entrepreneur at heart, you like to do the higher level stuff, you like to do the creative stuff, you like to figure out, here's what you need to do, and then you pass it on to someone else, and you say, go ahead and do it. That's one of the reasons you did that. The other reason that you want to get into internet marketing, or that you're doing internet marketing, is because you want to make more money while spending less time working. And so there's a strange conundrum that happens especially when you think that this kind of stuff's not possible, you don't do it, is that you end up working more than you were working in your day job while not necessarily making more money. And the reason why that happens is simply because it's just mind-numbing, and it's the reason why the reasons why you got into this are not what you end up doing. So you end up doing the link building yourself, the content writing yourself, the email contacts, and the putting up of simple little websites, the submissions, and all that stuff, which, let's face it, gets boring after a while and is way below your level of intelligence and skill, and so you end up kind of skipping it or cutting corners in a bunch of different places, but those are essential to your business. And so don't see this as an expense. See this as an investment in yourself, in your time, in your future, and in the future itself. I can't speak highly enough of the Filipino workers that I now have on my team. They just do an absolutely stunning job, and a lot of the times when I realize how much I'm paying them to do that work, and how much money I'm making off of the work that they're doing, some people in my local North American office have told me, don't you feel bad paying them so little for so much, and the money that you're making? And I kind of ask myself the question, do I need to feel bad about this? And then I realized that when you're paying them $250 or $300 a month, and the higher paid ones, you're paying them $350 or $400 a month, you're paying them more than they would ever make otherwise. So they're like thrilled, they're really happy, and it's a win-win situation. They're winning because they get to work for a foreign company, which gives them bragging rights in their own rights. They also get income stability, and they get a really good job where you're going to keep paying them. They have learning opportunities, and that's what they're there for. They like to develop themselves and work for the same person, and have a guaranteed paycheck. They're really big on that. And they get to make more money. As John was saying, the young guy's making more money than his father, and this is a really common thing. In fact, a lot of the times they'll try to refer their friends to you, because their friends will be like, wow, that's so cool, and you're making all this money, and I'd like to get on this too. And and it's a win for you, obviously, because you get to get the work done in your business that's necessary, so that you can keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep growing the thing to where you want it to be. So let's listen, if you want to take advantage of this, and I strongly recommend that you do. I mean, just the bonuses that are being provided here are, something like $8,000 of bonuses. It's absolutely crazy, and they are very high quality bonuses. I've checked them all out myself, and we're in this member area all the time. We're on the websites where John suggests to hire his people. Those are the exact ones that we use. In fact, this process and this what you've discovered in this webinar, that's exactly what we use. And what we've used in the past couple of months to transition our business. So I really recommend that you give this a try. The way to do that is to go to replacemyself.com/Alex. You'll be able to place your order and get everything that John talked about here. Now, I want to just tell you about one thing that has changed. A lot of things have changed in my business since doing this, but just one of the things that's changed is that a couple of weeks ago I had a product launch. And for the first time ever, we've been inching towards this for a long time, but for the first time ever, I was actually on the phone chatting with people about other stuff and what I was going to do over the weekend right before the product launch actually went live. And that's usually never the case. Usually it's like scramble until the very last minute, and don't sleep 3 days earlier because there's a bunch of stuff that you've forgotten to do or that you've been putting off till later, and now it's later, and the page is about to go live, and affiliates are going to be mailing, and people are going to be buying, and this time it was all relaxed and it was all chill, and I was like, wow, and finally, this is the way that it's supposed to be, is that you're supposed to get enjoyment out of your business. You're supposed to get benefits in your business. So if you've been feeling like instead of giving you more time freedom, and more time to enjoy yourself and more money to enjoy yourself, well, your business is kind of doing the opposite so far. It's giving you less time and more headaches and less money. This might very well be the move that changes things for you. Because let's face it, nobody, as much as we talk about willpower and discipline and doing what you need to do in your business, that stuff's all true. I won't hide it from you. You do need some willpower. You do need to do some things sometimes that you don't feel like doing. But if you paint yourself into a corner where moving forward in your business depends on you doing all these different things that you don't like doing or that are beneath your level of intelligence and skill, you're setting yourself up for failure, unfortunately, because it's just human nature. I mean, how long can you go on doing mind-numbing tasks or doing things that are beneath you, that you don't like doing? How long can you keep doing that? You can do it for a certain amount of time, but you can't do it forever. And so I'd say do yourself a favor, free up some of your time. John mentioned something, which is, if you need to split someone at first, do it. I'm going to send you an email, a follow-up to this particular webinar. I'm going to send you an email that's going to show you exactly how to do that, and I'm going to hook you up with a bunch of people that want to split a person with you. Okay, you can split it 2 ways, you can split it 3 ways, whatever you want. But my recommendation right now is that you get started with this. Give it a try. See the difference that it makes for you. Use the income plans that John talked about, or get them to work in your business right now. Get them to start building the links, writing the comments, doing the submissions, doing the stuff that's on your to-do list, but that somehow never really gets done or doesn't get done to the extent that it should. And if you want to do that, go to replacemyself.com/Alex. Join us inside the member area. You're going to have access to like $8,000 of bonuses. And when you start doing this for yourself and you start experiencing the results and the kind of relief that you get from having somebody do this stuff for you, trust me, the only thing that you'll regret is not doing it 6 months earlier.
What I've been told from other people is the potential downside is you lose a couple $100. The potential upside is you get your life back and succeed beyond your wildest imagination now. So, and actually with that, I had one more thing to say before we ended. 100% money back guarantee. If you're not happy with this, ask for your money back. We'll give it back to you. No questions asked. Also, it's a monthly program. It's $97 the first month, and it's $97 every month after that. You can cancel anytime. There's no commitment. So, I hope this has been good for everyone. I told you in the beginning, I have 2 goals with this. I want to help people succeed, and I want to provide 1 million Filipinos with jobs. And I think that as you go and hire someone, we're doing both. We're accomplishing both. We're changing lives both here and there because people succeed as they do it. And you change the people's lives that you hire. So that's it. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alex, and any last words?
No, that's it. Really, I mean, this is one of the things that will change your business, and it'll change the way that you look at things. Because let's face it, when you know that you're going to have to do all the work yourself, sometimes you kind of cut things short and you don't do all the moves that you could be doing. It's just normal, right? Because you don't want to do more work and you don't want to buy yourself more headache. This is the kind of product or investment that when you make, you're buying yourself less work. Run by yourself, you're buying yourself less headache. So this is a different kind of proposition that's being made to you. And if you've never tried this before, if you've tried outsourcing before, this is not, this has nothing to do with quote unquote outsourcing at large. Okay, this is like a different and very specific way of doing things, and instantly it started providing results that were like 5 times better than any outsourcing that I've ever tried to do before. And as you can see, from the moment I hired my first person, I've only been hiring more and more and more and more. And the reason for that is that once you start doing the little things in your business every day, once someone else starts doing the little things in your business that you should be doing every day, well, your business grows and your income grows, and then it becomes easy to take some of those profits and hire someone else, and then it grows again, and then you take some more of those profits and you hire another one, and another one, and another one, and so on, and before you know it, you'll be having a business that now my business is at a state where I work because I enjoy working, and I do the work that I enjoy doing. And in fact, sometimes I almost feel guilty about it because, I have become the CEO. And just about the only work that I do myself now is I do the copywriting, I come up with the ideas, and I tell people what to do. Like some days where I will go, in my office, or I'll get on some calls and some meetings, and literally just about all I do is I tell people what to do, and then I check that they did it properly, and then I tell them, I give them suggestions on how to do it better. And I happen to make millions of dollars a year doing that. And if that's the kind of thing that you want to strive towards doing, no matter what your state your business is at today, it all depends on putting one foot in front of the other, doing the things that the situation demands that you do. Okay, this is another mistake that I find people making a lot of the times is that they try to learn too much, and they try to learn everything, and so they spend so much time learning and so little time actually doing. And the way that you want to do is, it's great to learn stuff, but you need to apply it, and you need to implement it. And sometimes the problem is that the implementing part can be the boring part. Well, continue to be the idea person in your business, but stop necessarily being the one who implements everything. Give yourself a break. Let someone else do it for you, and you'll see that within a very short amount of time, you'll actually get results that may be better than what you were doing yourself. And I'm almost done, and I'm almost ready to shut up now. But there's one last point that I wanted to make, and this is something that I was very guilty of until quite recently, which was that I'm a fairly smart and fairly sharp guy, and I've got years and years of experience in internet marketing. So when I do something myself, it's often better than what somebody else can do for me. Be it, a $40,000 or $50,000 North American or $300 a month Filipino. If I did it myself, it would probably come out a little bit better. Let's say that my result is 100% and their result is 80%. Well, so there's this fake or false impression that you doing the 100% is better than somebody else doing the 80%. And that's absolutely not true, because the problem is that there's only 24 hours in your day. And so even if you do everything yourself and you do it 100%, there's no way that in time and over the long run especially, you can stack up to 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 people doing the 80%. In fact, once you've got enough of these people doing the 80%, you can pretty much almost entirely take yourself out of the equation. And this is where it starts. So give this a try. Go to replacemyself.com/Alex, and like I said, if you actually just go for it and hire someone, even if you share that person with somebody else and you get them working in your business and doing one step at a time, the only thing that you will regret is not doing it sooner.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. This was a great webinar. Thank you so much for coming online, for coming to it and sharing all these great tactics and all this experience with everybody. It was really fantastic content. I hope that everybody got a lot out of it, and I hope that everybody for who this is right and for who this sounds right gives this a try, because it really is instrumental to your success.
Totally. So thanks everyone for being here. Go out and hire someone, and we'll talk to you later.
Great, John. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for being on the call.
Bye.
Bye.